continuing with the second unit of the organic chemistry, alcohol, phenol and ethers. Our last topic is ethers. Let us start with ethers. Ethers have general formula ROR dash. If both are same, then we have simple ethers. If they are different, then they are called as mixed ethers. First of all, we take methods of preparation of ethers. So we have already done two preparations. One is from alcohol. When alcohols are treated with concentrated sulfuric acid at 413 Kelvin, we get ether. Diethyl ether is obtained from ethyl alcohol. Second method is from Williamson synthesis. We have done it. This is a name reaction. Here sodium salt of alcohol, sodium ethoxide heated with alkyl halide. You will lose sodium halide and will get ether. Then we have from alkyl halides, there is another method. Alkyl halides, two molecules of alkyl halides, they are heated with Ag2O. On heating, we eliminate 2AgCl, product is diethyl ether. So this is our third method of preparing ether. Then we have ether from lower ethers to higher ethers. If we have dimethyl ether, it is chlorinated, treated with methyl magnesium bromide Grignard reagent. It is heated in THF solvent, tetrahydrofuran. You will be losing MgBrCl. Along with that, we get ether. Fifth method is from diazomethane. Diazomethane, when heated with alcohol, ethyl alcohol, CH2N2 is diazomethane. It is heated in the presence of boron trifluoride. We get C2H5 OCH3. This is called as ethyl methyl ether. So these are 5 methods of producing ethers. Then we have a very important question. To prepare ethers having tertiary alkyl group in them, we never use tertiary alkyl halides in the Williams synthesis. We always use the salt of tertiary alcohol and along with we heat them with alkyl halide. Why we don't use tertiary alkyl halides in the Williamson synthesis? The reason for that is tertiary alkyl halide, they prefer to undergo elimination reaction and they will produce alkene if they are taken. So in place of tertiary alkyl halides, we are using the sodium salt of tertiary alcohols in the Williamson synthesis to get the ethers having tertiary alkyl group. So we can do the synthesis of ethers with tertiary alkyl group. So this is your tertiary alkyl group. This is tertiary sodium salt or tertiary butyl alcohol. It is heated with chloromethane. NaCl is lost. You will be getting tertiary butyl methyl ether. And if you use here tertiary alkyl halide and heat it with sodium methoxide, then you will get elimination reaction in tertiary alkyl group. You will get isobutylene plus NaCl plus methyl alcohol is obtained. So this tertiary alkyl halides, it will undergo elimination reaction. So we never use tertiary alkyl halide in the Williamson synthesis, that because that produces the your alkane by the reaction. Then we have the physical properties of ethers. Ether, dimethyl ether and diethyl ether, they are gaseous, while higher ethers they exist in the liquid state, and they are soluble in water due to hydrogen bonding. They form hydrogen bond with water. ROR establishes hydrogen bonding. Oxygen establishes hydrogen bonding with hydrogen of the water. Then dipole moment, they have very low dipole moment. The dipole moment of dimethyl ether is 1.13 dBi, and that of diethyl ether is 1.18. It means dimethyl ether, it is having more polarity as compared to diethyl ether. Boiling points of ether, they are almost similar to those of alkanes, since magnitude of the van der Waals force present in alkanes as well as in ether, that is of the similar magnitude. Then we have the chemical properties of ethers. In chemical properties, in ethers we have oxygen, which is containing double lone pair of electrons. So these lone pair of electrons, they can be utilized in the formation of oxonium salts with acids. So first reaction will be action of acids, formation of oxonium salts by ethers, formation of oxonium salts. Oxygen will be positively charged in these salts. Diethyl ether having two lone pair of electrons treated with HCl, we get diethyl oxonium chloride. Similarly, when diethyl ether it is treated with sulfuric acid, again we are getting the similar type of salt, diethyl oxonium hydrogen sulfate. Then we have second action of BF3 boron trifluoride, which is actually a Lewis acid. It will accept electrons from diethyl ether and will form a complex called as ether boron trifluoride complex. So C2H5 twice O supplies electron to BF3. It is boron trifluoride etherate. Then we have third reaction, action of Grignard reagent. Grignard reagent is highly important compound. It is used in all the organic compounds. Now it combines with diethyl ether. Two molecules of it are taken. They react with electropositive metal magnesium here. They are heated in the presence of THFs and we get CH3MgBr accepts lone pair of electron from ether and form a addition complex here. It is Grignard reagent ether complex. Then we have fourth reaction, action of HI. Ethers combined with HI, giving a molecule of alcohol plus ethyl iodide. And if we are having the aromatic ether, mixed ether treated with HI, in that case we are likely to get phenol plus methyl iodide. Alkyl part will be giving you alkyl halide. Then we have excess of HI when taken. We get H2O removed here. We get two molecules of iodoethane. So excess of HI that will convert ether into alkyl iodides. Then we have action of PCl5, fifth reaction. I told you earlier, whenever PCl5 attacks a oxygen containing compound, it will definitely produce POCl3 plus two molecules of chloroethane and plus two molecules of chloroethane are produced. Then we have hydrolysis of ether. Diethyl ether is taken here, treated with water. In the acidic medium, we get two molecules of ethyl alcohol. So this is our next reaction. Then we have few more reactions of ethers. They are action of acetyl chloride, action of acetic anhydride, action of carbon monoxide. Then we have sixth reaction, action of acetyl chloride, CH3COCl, diethyl ether combines with acetyl chloride. In basic condition, product will be ester CH3COC2H5 plus C2H5Cl. So here we are getting alkyl halide plus ester. This reaction takes place in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. Anhydrous means which don't have water. Then similarly, we can have the action of acetic anhydride combines with diethyl ether. In the similar condition, we get two molecules of ethyl methyl ester. So action of acetyl chloride and acetic anhydride, they are almost similar reactions. Then we have action of chlorine. Ethers reacts with chlorine in dark as well as in sunlight. So action of Cl2 in dark. If we take diethyl ether treated with Cl2 in dark, loss of HCl, we get alpha chloro diethyl ether. This is further heated with Cl2 in dark, again loss of HCl, product is alpha alpha dichloro diethyl ether. So this is in dark. Then we have reaction, action of chlorine in the presence of sunlight. All the hydrogens of ethers, they will be replaced by chlorine in the presence of sunlight. This is highly vigorous reaction. 10 HCl is lost and we get C2Cl5 twice O. This is called as perchloro diethyl ether. So chlorine can produce alpha alpha dichloro as well as perchloro diethyl ether. Then we have action of sulfuryl chloride SOCl2. It reacts with diethyl ether, and this method can be used to prepare alkyl halide. We get two molecules of chloroethane plus SO2 is obtained. This is the reaction of sulfur dioxide. Then we have action of oxygen. It will produce diethyl hydroperoxide. We get CH3CHOOH. This is diethyl ether hydroperoxide. Diethyl hydroperoxide is the compound so produced. Then we have next reactions of benzene ring in the ether, as we have already studied. Halogenation, nitration, sulfonation, and Friedel-Crafts reactions. These are the four reactions which are studied when we take benzene ring. So first of all, we'll take halogenation of ethers, then we'll take nitration, then sulfonation, and Friedel-Crafts will not take place in this case. So we have first reaction, halogenation of ethers. This is anisole treated with Br2. Br2 is a bromine gas in the presence of FeCl, FeBr3. Product is orthobromoanisole. Plus para-bromoanisole. Ortho and para-bromoanisole. Then we have nitration of ethers. Ethers when treated with HNO3 concentrated in the presence of drop of concentrated sulfuric acid to produce nitronium ion here. We get orthonitroanisole and para-nitroanisole. This is ortho and para-nitroanisole. Then we have sulfonation. Treatment of anisole or pantol can be taken with concentrated sulfuric acid. It will produce mixture of orthomethoxybenzene sulfonic acid and para-methoxybenzene sulfonic acid. Loss of water will take place in this reaction. So this reaction is called as sulfonation reactions. And now we have the combustion of ethers. When ether is ignited in the excess of oxygen, it will be totally burnt. 4 CO2, 5 H2O is produced. We have 13 oxygen here, so you will be 6 ignition. So this is all about the preparation and chemical properties of the ether along with physical properties. Now we come to the uses of ethers. Ethers are used as solvents in the organic chemistry, and they are used in the Gisel's method for estimation of ethers. Anisole reacts with HI to give phenol and your methyl iodide. The alkoxy group, they are generally estimated by Gisel's method. Then ethers are used in the as a general anesthetic, and some derivatives of ether such as isofurane and ethane, they are the derivatives of ethers. They are chlorinated or fluorinated ethers which are used as a anesthetic nowadays. So what is the structure of isofurane? Anesthetic, general anesthetics, they are being used. Isofurane. This is CF3, CF, Cl, O, CS2, CF3. This is isofurane. This is CHCl, I think. CF3, CHClO, then CHF2, CHF. This is your isofurane, a general anesthetic. And another anesthetic is ethane. Ethane also a fluorinated and chlorinated compound of ether. It has 3 fluorine on left hand side, 1 chlorine. and on the right hand side it is having 2 fluorine. So ethane and isoflurane, they are used as anesthetic in the laboratory as well as in the hospitals. Now what happens when ether is distilled without removal of peroxide? Since ether contains two lone pair of electron on the oxygen, therefore oxygen has the tendency to accept lone pair of supply lone pair to the oxygen from the atmosphere, and it used to form ethyl peroxide during its storage. If peroxide is not removed before the distillation, then it can result in the serious accident in the lab. It can result in the explosion in the lab. Therefore peroxides, they are to be removed first before the distillation of the ethers. Then we have the question, what happens when the functional isomer of dimethyl ether is treated with diazomethane. It will give you methoxyethane as a major product. Then we have the question, what are the isomers formed for? Give isomers of formula C7H8O. C7 means 6 carbon will go in the benzene ring. So we can have the isomer 6 carbon in benzene ring. First is benzyl alcohol here. We can get orthocresol, metacresol. All of these structure, they will have same number of carbon. Paracresol. So these are the 4 isomers from formula C7H8O, orthocresol, metacresol, paracresol, and one isomer is methoxybenzene. So we have 5 isomers of formula C7H8O. First isomer is anisole, benzene ring having CH3 OCH3 group. This is anisole. Then we have paracresol. This is benzyl alcohol. This is orthocresol. This is metacresol. So this is all about the ether. So this finishes our unit alcohol, phenol and ether. In the next lecture we will be taking the unit aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acid. Thank you very much.